Hey fellas, here's my take on this rather in-depth discussion, but it's cool. All right, so the first things first, we know that six is a solution, right? We can clearly see that by the graph and when we check that. So if I was just going to check this, get my pen working here, the square root 6 plus 10 should equal 6 minus 2, and in fact we do get that, right? That's going to be root 16. That should equal 4, and in fact it does. So like nobody's disputing that. That's the first one. Okay, here's where the dispute comes in. Let me just erase some of this. Let's check our second solution, -1. So we're going to have -1, -1. Now we have the square root of 9 equaling 3. Square root of 9, boys, is 3. Therefore 3 is not the same as 3, or as -3, okay? These are two different things. Now, where this is coming in at is the square root property. Remember, the square root property is when we have an equation and we have a variable. Let's check out an example like, we got x squared equals 16, right? Well, here's where we're using the square root property, because when we try to solve this, we're taking the square root, so x equals -4 or 4. Because again, if we sub this back in now and square it, right, -4 squared is 16, as is 4 squared. But that's not what's happening here. Yes, we have an equation, but we don't have any variables now. So we're not worrying about the two-value deal. We're literally just blasting it in, and we're looking for the same deal, okay? Now, one thing that might not be as clear to you guys just using what I posted there, but if you go back to our discussion, on this is like an interactive graph, right? You can click and drag and find things out. So clearly, and when I embedded this, guys, it didn't show the points, but we know that 6 is a solution here because it intercepts between those two lines. Now, Corey, -1 would be right here, and there is no intersection between those two lines. Okay, so therefore -1 is not a solution. Great discussion though, guys. Hope it helps. Let me know if it doesn't.